So where do we go from here? Mickey Cauldron?
We're sort of just sitting there minding our own business when two guys who look like builders, or so they're sort of wearing overalls and stuff, walk in, and they go to the cafe and start. We think they're ordering coffee, but no, wait, a completely ulterior motive becomes very quickly apparent. One of the things I love about this film is that the three kids, absolutely no kind of training in terms of combat magic, are always better than any adult they face.
It's better that we just wipe their memories. If we kill them, they'll know we were here.
Now, in all the years I've been coming to the Harry Potter sets, I've never been allowed to get on a broomstick. But today, I've been invited to G Stage, where they're prepping for another stunt, and I'm going to get to fly. And the flying, of course, has become quite a dramatic thing over the years, and it was such a closely guarded secret.
Yes. Whereas now, we'll just let you come in and film it.
Yeah, well, hopefully,
yeah.
I'm going to have a go at some point. Yeah.
See, now, this is the thing, is that you're going to get on one of our new Quidditch brooms that's been around since the last 2 years.
Right.
Which is much nicer.
Oh, really?
Which has a bit more of a sort of tractor seat type affair for you to sit on, rather than the
razor knife.
Yes, rather than the bike saddle that it was before.
I've got
blood has been drawn from unpleasant places. We will put it like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You've...
ages ago. It's all healed up now. It's fine.
That's really... Only here in the world of Harry Potter would you find a man who pays his bills by designing magical broomsticks. Just talk us through sort of where we've been and some of the brooms that we've got here.
OK, we've kind of got a slight history of broom making over the last 10 years, and we could start off here with the Nimbus 2000, which...
I love this broom. This was his first. This was Harry's first?
This was the first, yes, yeah. And it had a very strong styling, because it had to stand out compared to the school brooms like the one we got above us here.
So this was just a bog standard?
Bog standard, yeah. So the idea was with the bog standard brooms was that they were almost like when you remember at school when you got your cricket bats out and everyone chose one, everyone had the last one, the ratty one with the bits missing.
The rubbish one,
kinda,
didn't really fly straight, it was a bit rubbish, and never hit a six
never went left.
And there was always one kid who had a really nice one.
This is from the film we've been working on at the moment, and this has been built for Arthur Weasley. He loves his Muggle design. It's great. So he's got proper bicycle pedals and bicycle cranks. But this is a lovely bit of design. It's a great idea of the bike bag on the back. These are designed and built so that they could be put onto rigs in the green screen, and then they're thrown around the room. So they've got to be safe. So you actually have a broom here that's made of. It's got a titanium component. So that's all titanium castings. It actually
looks like a shotgun as well.
Exactly. It's that butt of a gun. That's a titanium casting. Titanium arms here, because you have to get it as light as you can, but also incredibly strong.
How much would something like that be worth?
Well, if you think that we had to make 4 of them, so and we probably spent on the castings for all of them probably £25,000 on the castings alone. So yes, yeah, it's a lot of money, but. You can't dice with people's safety, really.
No, you can't.
No.
Or Mad Eye, because unless you're going to spend the best, he's going to be furious.
No, exactly. I don't want a thick ear from him.
Oh, my goodness me. I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near that. So we're talking over £100,000 just for the brooms that you've used for him, for all the castings and everything, and...
Yeah, and all the work, I'd say, for all the Moody brooms, because there are multiples, yeah, there's probably around that.
Now, titanium is used to build jet engines, missiles and spacecraft, as well as Harry Potter brooms. So it might be quite high up there, but at least I know I'm safe. So now I've got to get my leg over there.
Yep. Go with your left leg. That's it.
Oh, my goodness! Oh, that's better. You're right, it's not comfortable, is it?
No, that's all. OK, is that better?
Yeah, nice and tight. I'm strapped in.
Nigel, let's go live on the rig.
That wasn't me. Is it groaning under my weight? Is that the issue? Wow! Over the years, the team have made around 100 brooms in at least 20 different designs. There have been different broomsticks for different characters. Technology has changed, and of course the children who flew them in the early films are now taller and heavier adults. Oh, I feel like I'm getting into this now. Oh, hello. Oh, getting a bit more excited. Oh, hello. Dan's right. It isn't comfortable, but it is great fun. What I need now, though, is a bit of scenery. That's more like it. Right! I'm off home the quick way! But I'll be back after the break when we find out what happens when tensions start to rise between Harry, Ron and Hermione.
Stop! Stop!
Let go! Emma gives the boys a run for their money. And we find out who did this to Harry.
They didn't tell me how to stop.
But life under canvas gets very tense as their friendship is seriously put to the test for the first time.
I think a lot of it, quite a bit of it, is to do with this kind of object that we've got. The Horcrux locket is kind of, because we're all kind of wearing it in different stages. It's got to take turns in wearing it. And it kind of has this really weird effect on you.
The wearer becomes kind of exhausted and starts to think like really negative thoughts, and it kind of like starts to take over the, you know, whoever's wearing it. And the person that it affects the most is Ron.
It makes you kind of paranoid, and it was really cool doing those kind of scenes.
You think I don't know how this feels? You don't know how it feels! Your parents are dead! You have no family!
He's really insecure about how close Hermione and Harry are because he's in love with Hermione, and that's stressing him out, and he's hungry, he's not been away from, you know, he's used to being taken care of, and, you know, they're alone and they don't know what they're doing.
And James Killick.
And Ron is constantly listening to the radio, trying to find out, you know, for news of his family, and hears the death toll of more and more people, muggles and wizards alike, who are being killed as a result of the dark forces that are increasing in power, drives him to the point where that tension eventually overflows.
Stop! Stop! Let go! Go then!
Now, this wasn't something that was in the book, but I think Joe will love it, which is Ron leaves and they're both devastated, but particularly Hermione. She's decided to stay with Harry, and she misses the, you know, she loves Ron too, and just like he loves her, though they found it very difficult to express that.
Me and Hermione just sort of start dancing to this song.
Together?
And it's a slow song, together. And it's a slow dance, basically, and even I can just about manage that. It is a very lovely and tender scene, and it's one of those moments between Harry and Hermione. In fact, it is the only moment between Harry and Hermione where you go, are they about to do something they might... No, OK, no, it's fine, they're not.
If I may, I understand that you're dyspraxic.
Yes,
in some way.
yes, mildly.
Mildly. Just, can you explain sort of how that manifests itself and what the implication, therefore, is that in terms of stunts and so on?
I mean, if anything, the stunts and stuff has actually helped a lot because it deals with coordination, and that's the main thing that I say about dyspraxia is that it's to do with coordination. I mean, it's, you know, some people have it very, very badly and find it hard to, you know, catch a ball and handle coordination stuff. I've never had it quite that badly, although you should see me throw. But it's also a processing thing, so I take in information slightly slower than everybody else does. Through doing training and through doing bits of gymnastics when I was younger on Potter, that has absolutely stood me in very good stead and has made all the dyspraxia stuff kind of decrease a lot.
This training was put to good use during a terrifying chase through the forest, where Dan and Emma and Rupert surprised everyone.
Oh, but don't miss out the chase. The chase is awesome.
So talk us through the chase.
The chase is great before we get captured. Oh, so cool. So we went to this amazing forest and they had this camera set up that I've never seen before, which is that it kind of like runs on a wire. Okay. So it's like kind of like a remote control camera. It's kind of incredible. And it meant that it could go unbelievably fast. So usually when we do the running scenes, there's like a poor cameraman like desperately trying to like sweating, like, trying to keep up with us, and we're kind of like having to slow it down a little bit. But with this camera was so bloody fast. Dan and I and Rupert were killing ourselves. I mean, killing ourselves. I've never run so hard in my entire life.
In this scene, as the film builds to its climax, Harry, Ron and Hermione are literally running for their lives from Voldemort's bounty hunters, the Snatchers.
I go to take one, I go, OK, action. And they go, and I think, whoa! And they're really trying to, and they run like maniacs, and we've got quad bikes and trying to keep up with them. And it's because they are trying to outcompete each other. Dan wants to run faster than Emma, Emma wants to run faster than Dan, and Rupert just wants to be anywhere to try and keep up with the pair of them.
To be honest, they never really tell us that we're going to do stuff like this. We arrive on set and they're like, right, we're going to, you know, go. And you're just like, okay, and you just start running, really.
Yeah.
It's mad.
There's a few obstacles as well we have to...
Yeah, there's quite, because they've had to, they've taken lots of the tree stumps out, so there's sort of loads of stumps around this level, like perfect tripping over height.
Their run has been carefully planned, tree stumps included, by stunt coordinator Greg Powell.
We went down and looked at it first, and we like from A to B. And what we have to do is prep the ground, because then we let, wrap the artist's knees up and ankles up with bands to make sure they're tight, and just let them go, and it was good.
I imagine that some of the actors are keen to do as much as they possibly can, whereas others are a little bit sort of more nervous.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, for instance, he'd go all day long. The one who surprised me on the day at Swinley was Emma.
There was loads of pyrotechnics. I was like firing, shooting spells behind me, and like explosions were going off. I mean, it was so much fun. It was fun.
That's the sort of thing you dream about doing. Like, you watch the film and you think, if only I'd actually done it. But you actually
got to do it. I felt pretty great. And I was really pleased because Greg, who's head of stunts, was kind of really like, oh, she's just a little girl. She's not really gonna do it. And I really gave it my all. I like, really gave it my best.
When we was rehearsing this, I was looking at it, I said, no, just go a little bit slower, because I'm not sure whether they keep up with that. You just beat a lot of them, they just go for the third run. Good.
Are you guys secretly competing? Who's going to get there fastest?
That's really good, Em. Surprising. You're doing along there, really good.
Oh, fab, thanks.
He came up to me and he was like, oh, it's quite good. I was like, thanks.
It's a huge compliment from Greg.
Yeah, coming from Greg, I was quite pleased. You know, he's like worked on some of the biggest action films of all time.
The scene has rather a shocking end as Hermione appears to turn on Harry.
We are brought, actually, to Malfoy Manor by the Snatchers because they think they might have found Harry Potter. But they're not sure because Hermione has put this stinging jinx on me, which makes this kind of half of my face swell up to about 4 times its natural size.
What happened to you, ugly? No, not you.
But it's pretty much his eye, and everything else is a kind of weird...
Like it's melted or...
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable to look at, actually. Yeah, it looks like melted is the best. I haven't even thought of that word, but that's the one. It looks like it's sort of drooping off his face a bit.
The audience has to believe that the Malfoys won't recognise him, so it has to be enough of a disguise that you buy into the fact he is disguised. However, you mustn't lose Dan. You know, it mustn't be completely hidden because you want your audience to still feel empathetic with the fact it's him.
The worst part of it is putting it on in the mornings, which is like from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock in the morning, all you can sort of smell and feel is glue.
I think he really loved it to begin with, because it was like being a different person. So when you first saw Dan in it, he kind of sauntered around, and Dan just loved not quite being Harry, being someone else.
What's your name?
Dudley.
The piece itself moves very softly and with very little resistance, so that all the muscle movements, you know, all the performance that's going on behind comes through. If you think of the prosthetic as a skin we're creating, and you think of the actor's face as a piece of machinery underneath that moves in certain ways, we mustn't dilute that movement because we're filtering the performance.
That's not very sort of leading man-esque, is it, to disfigure you quite so dramatically?
Work for John Hurt, Bill Man.
Don't touch her! Your boyfriend will get much worse than that if he doesn't learn to behave himself.
So that's where we're going to have to leave it. But, to be honest, with the body count rising like it is, we probably all need a bit of a breather. I guess this is the middle of the end. I can't tell you any more about the film, but I can tell you there is a cracking cliffhanger. So, enjoy it, and I'll see you next summer for the final chapter.